let's talk about lifting straps. I am going to walk through what they are, why we use them, and how to use them here today. So first things first, what are lifting straps? They are simply a lifting accessory that allows us to lift heavier because it removes the limiting factor of grip strength. So what do I mean by that? Well, when we're lifting, we often are holding something in our hands. But our grip strength tends to be weaker than bigger muscles in our body, like our legs or our back. So when we're lifting something, our grip strength tends to give out before our leg muscles actually hit fatigue. And it limits us from lifting as heavy as we could be. Lifting straps removes grip strength as that variable and allows us to actually lift to our full potential. So lifting straps, what are they? There's two different types of lifting straps. This is the old school standard lifting strap here. You'll see it's kind of got a little hole that you put around your wrist, and then it's got a nice long tail. The other most common form of a lifting strap is a VersaGrip. This simply is one that velcros around your wrist, and then it has a much shorter tail, typically more like that. Both of them perform the exact same function. VersaGrips are a little bit easier to get used to at first, but once you get used to these, they are just as quick. So it's kind of up to you what you want to use. Benefits of lifting straps like this are they are much, much cheaper. These tend to be around 10 bucks, sometimes even as cheap as $5 on Amazon. And then VersaGrips tend to be more expensive, closer to like $75-ish. Now you can buy off-brand VersaGrips, and they tend to be closer to like 20 to 30 bucks. Totally up to you. They all perform the exact same function. Now, how do we use these? So let's walk through how to use lifting straps, the old school version, so that you can feel comfortable and save some money. So what we do when you get your lifting straps, they are going to look like this. And we are going to show you how to put them together. So what you're going to do is you're going to find one end is going to have a little hole like that. You're simply going to just thread that through to create the hole in which your wrist will go. I typically, once I have mine threaded, I typically just leave them like this. They don't really need to be undone ever. I throw them in my bag just like this, and they're obviously pretty easy to tote to the gym or use at home. What you'll want to do is when you slide them on your wrist, you're gonna wanna make sure the tail is pointing down towards your palm. So I'll show you the wrong way and the right way here. So the right way is where we're gonna slide this on our wrist, and the tail is down on my palm. The wrong way would be with the tail pointing up my arm. I'm not going to be able to use this as a grip strength helper here. So just make sure that the tail is pointing down in your palm. I also like to make sure that the tail, it's going to point one way or the other, right? I like to make sure that it points along my thumb. That makes it a lot easier for holding and grip strength. Now, when we go to actually use these, you'll typically use these for barbell movements or dumbbell movements. You can also use them for like back day pull attachments. But what we're going to do is we are going to simply wrap the tail around the barbell, dumbbell, whatever handle. So let's show you here. What we're going to do is first make sure that it's pretty taut around your wrist here. And then you're going to place your heel of your palm right at about that dumbbell or barbell, whatever the thing you're wrapping around is. And then you can just wrap around the tail. Now, you don't have to do the whole way. You could stop about halfway. I find that a little annoying, so I just wrap it all the way, totally up to you. But once you wrap it all the way around, you'll just kind of twist back the dumbbell barbell attachment or twist your wrist, just so that you can make sure that all that tension is out and it's nice and taut. There's not any give between the dumbbell, barbell, etc. and your wrist. So this should be really nice and taut. It's pretty much making that dumbbell one with your arm. Now, here's the little bit harder part of lifting straps is, now I did that arm, so I can't use that arm to help me wrap this one. I suggest using your non-dominant for your first one, and then obviously you'll just be left with your dominant hand. So I will just make sure it's nice and taut by just using a little finger there. But then you simply just will go around and kind of use your fingers to help wrap it. It takes a little bit of practice, but again, it is very, very simple. And this one you might just need to twist a little bit more depending on your skill with wrapping these. But once you get them wrapped, again, this should be nice and taut. in both arms. And now I'm going to be able to lift up, and my grip strength is no longer going to be an issue. And I can do things like RDLs, bent leg RDLs, B stance RDLs, deadlifts, pull, anything pretty much without the grip strength being the limiting factor. To get these off, simply let go